Okay, people, we're getting ready to go live here in a couple minutes. Just go ahead, sit back, and enjoy the music. Hello and welcome to episode number 4 of CptDomano's Indie Corner, because I can't think of a better name right now. It's Friday, December 16th, and that means I don't have to work anymore for 2 whole weeks, which means I get to sit in this room for basically 2 weeks and do nothing but play video games. Well, occasionally to go out and play on the Xbox and things like that, but for the most part, my vacation starts right now. And for some of you college students out there, finals week is starting to wrap up, so you are also getting that lovely little winter break. And hopefully you're going to be out there playing games just like me. Star Wars The Old Republic drops next week, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to be getting into. And also, worth noting, this week there are 2 more indie bundles that got released. There's the Humble Indie Bundle again and the Indie Royale Bundle. For right now, I can list out all of the games in the Humble Bundle, but there's too many to really, not a whole lot, but I don't want to sit here and list them out, so I will just take a screenshot here, throw them up there. So those are the games that you're going to get with the Humble Indie Bundle. Seven of those games are available. And again, as the little note says right there, you do have to pay more than the minimum to get Gratuitous Space Battles, and the game that I'm going to be covering today, Cave Story Plus. On the other side, with the Indie Royale bundle, you have 4 games. Not quite as many games as the Humble Indie bundle, and kind of some lesser known games, but still just as fun and just as interesting. I do have something to report on each one of those things that I've discovered, but I'll keep that for the end of the show here. And just go ahead and start getting into it. So the game I'm going to be talking about today is Cave Story Plus. Now, this game was created by one man, and I'm going to destroy his name, but it's Daisuke Amaya. I apologize if I butchered that name. But he took 5 years of developing this, and it actually released in Japan first in 2004. And was later released on the WiiWare and the DSiWare in, I want to say, 2010, and just recently it was released in one of the other Humble Bundles in 2011, just this past month. So This is a game that's relatively new to me. For some of you people that have the WiiWare and get games off of there, you might have played this already. In fact, I think even they remade it again and put it on the Nintendo 3DS. So there's a bunch of different ways of getting this game. But again, because I enjoy the indie bundles so much, that's just where I picked it up. Oh, and worth noting, the indie bundles right now, the Humble Indie Bundle is only available for 11 more days because they do have a time frame for how they release these games. And the Indie Royale Bundle is available, I want to say, for the next 9 days. So you got a little over a week to get over there and check them out before those bundles disappear. So going back to Cave Story Plus, this is a game. I know last week I did a game where it was more abstract. Well, not really abstract, but not so much familiar territory to a lot of people. I'm going back to the familiar territory with this game. Once it comes up, you'll instantly get the feel of Metroid, and it does not balk at that. I mean, it embraces it. I mean, it handles a lot like Metroid and a lot of the weapons and things like that. It's just it's got a very nice Metroid feel to it. So let me go ahead and get that started. So let me flip over to the game here, and of course I did have to with the weird thing with how my streaming programs work is that I have to turn off the volumes that run in the background because it will stream the sound. So I just got to kick up the music here. And also, for your lovely pleasure, I'm going to put that little thing down here. I actually am going to be wearing my giant freaking headphones so that I can actually hear the game while I play. Just because I dig the sound on this, so I just want to put on the headphones. And also, you can make fun of me for looking very stupid with my big-ass, bulky headphones. So, I've only played a little bit of this so far. I'm not really sure what the unlock is and the challenges. I can't exactly say. But basically, I've just started out in the story mode. And I'll go ahead and start a new game real quick, just so that you can see how the game starts and everything like that. Gives you the difficulty levels and that. So we'll wait for that to go. And there is actually a storyline going on here in the background. It's not just like the original Metroid, where you kind of are just thrust into a world that you don't really know what's going on or anything like that. So there are these this little cutscene. The only thing, though, is that they don't really explain what this is all about just yet. I haven't even gotten to a point where this little guy even has a name. So what I have figured out so far is that with talking with characters, because there are character interactions, that this guy has lost his memory. He's a warrior of some kind, but he's lost his memory, and that's pretty much what you're given to start out with. And the game's, as you can see already, it does have a very Metroid feel to it. You get these little life capsules to increase your health, and even when you get the life capsule, it kind of has like I said, a Metroid kind of sound to it. And of course, this game does come with, if you get it on Steam, it has achievements to it. Not that not too many people care about the Steve achievements, but it's there if that's something that you're into. Oops. So you start out, and there are characters to interact with. This guy is just asleep, but he is holding this treasure chest, so let's pick that up. And now we have the Polar Star, which is actually the first weapon that you get. And now we go through this transmission again, which again, this is the storyline, and maybe you're trying to get to this guy, or maybe you're the guy that's trying to find Sue. I'm not exactly sure, but it goes back there. So now we've got this gun. Boom, boom. So now we can actually start killing those guys, because before we didn't have any ability to actually start shooting those guys. And so now we'll start attacking them. And if you'll see the little triangles or pyramids that pop out, that's actually, I don't want to say experience points, but that's the only thing I can think of right now. But it's experience points, and if you look in the upper left corner there's a thing that says level 1, and that is actually not so much for your character, but for the weapon that you're using. So your weapon actually can go up in levels. Oops, totally didn't see that guy there. So we'll just... And the other thing to note as well is that the experience points, that's why this is why I don't like calling them experience points, is because they don't stick. They don't stay with you. If you get hit, it's just like a life bar. You can get up to level 3 or 4 with a weapon, and the moment you get hit, you can actually drop that weapon down to basically back down to level 1. And with each level, it obviously just makes the weapon a little more powerful. And so here we're introduced to a couple more characters. And this is where we find out that these guys they know who this Sioux girl is, and so they're trying to protect her. And you're given the fact that there's a doctor that comes and takes people away. So we'll just skip over this really quick. Your character is now introduced to these guys. You can talk to them. And from here, this game is again where the Metroid portion comes in. Is you can start exploring, and you're not necessarily. You can go pretty much wherever you want, but there are triggers and things. So you go to this farm, and there's really nothing to do here yet, but it's just the fact that you can explore here. And oh, look, there's a little life capsule. Boop, pick that up. And like I said, the controls are pretty good. They're pretty responsive. It's basically just you shoot up, down, left, and right. You don't have the ability to shoot diagonally, and you can also shoot down while you're jumping. That's helpful for some of the enemies that are maybe too short to be hit with the actual just straight gun. And you can play this with a keyboard or with a joystick. It allows for that. You can just edit in the options which thing you want to use. Okay. All right. So this is just the basic controls, the basic game right here. I'm going to go ahead and try to. Okay. Apparently, I can't get to the main menu. Okay. Well, I was going to load my game, but we'll just play a little bit more here. Oops. And like I said, it is like Metroid. You will get weapons, and that's a little bit later on. But then you get the ability to switch between those weapons. Let's see if I can make it. Okay, there. So yeah, it's a very basic game, but like I said, it's not every game has to be really in depth or have a lot of graphics or anything like that. It's just these simple little fun games like this that can that can make a game enjoyable. You're not the doctor. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to get. There's a boss that's going to be coming up here. And that's the only thing I don't like, is that you can't just skip the text. You actually have to wait for it to scroll through there. And there is a little bit of comedy in there. I mean, obviously that was a little dig at the Kool-Aid Man there. I've got the nose of a clever harrier. Yeah. Har har. So, again, like I said before, your character has amnesia. He doesn't really remember anything. Obviously, there will be people that you will interact. There's people that you interact with later on, that recognize you and that they know who you are. But at this point in time, you don't really know what's happening. You're kind of thrust into this world, and you're just trying to figure out what's going on. Oh crap! Wrong. Oh. And again, I mean, it is the first boss, so he is a pretty basic enemy. You just kind of jump over him, take him out. Oop. And there we go. And so that's pretty much it. That's Cave Story Plus, and like I said, you get all these little experience points. And like I said, for whatever reason, I can't get to the main menu. I can't quit out, so I'm just going to close this out. Switch over back to the regular webcam here. And again, that's part of the most recent Humble Bundle, and you can only get that if you pay more than the minimum, which, as you can see when I showed it before, the minimum is nothing more than just $5. For $5, you end up getting all of these games. Now, one thing that I've noticed over these past couple bundles is that not only do you get Steam keys, or you can just download the games directly, but there's also a thing that I've been seeing. It's called you get keys for Desura, and I've never heard of this before or anything like that, so I ended up looking it up this week. And essentially, what Desura is, it's very similar to Steam. Almost, you could almost say it's an exact copy of Steam. Oh, there was no sound from the game? Crud. Well, that's because I had it muted. And unfortunately, I do apologize that there was no sound from the game. I apparently had it muted, but you still got the gameplay mechanics of it, and I do apologize for that. But anyway, like I was saying, with Desura, it's a thing that's similar to Steam in that it's a digital distribution. But the thing with Desura is that it focuses mainly on indie games and modification to already purchasable games. So it has Desert Combat for Battlefield 1942 from way back when. It has it on there, and just random modifications to any game that's already been out there. This, if you're really looking for a nice area to look for indie games and not just have Steam, which it's nice, but it's not totally focused on indie games, and really those indie games are kind of already, I don't want to say already established or already popular. They do have, most of them have come either on the Xbox Live Arcade or PSN or from anywhere. Desura, I've seen a lot. I've seen many more unique programs that are on there. And the other thing is that you also get a lot of open source games that are on there too. So there are more. There's just more free games even than just like on Steam, where you might get a demo or you might get something like that. But I would definitely check out Desura if you're into these indie games and things like that, and you want to kind of check out what's on there. That's what I'm going to be going ahead and looking at for my next week. During this whole time that I'm off, I'm just going to check it out and kind of pick and choose which games I'm going to want to look at. It's very even possible that I'll go back to the Humble Indie Bundle, and because there is 2 games that I'm actually pretty interested in. One is Night Sky HD, which is a physics-based puzzle game, and you're essentially a ball, and just you're using physics to get through the level. It's got a limbo kind of feel to it. Everything's kind of dark. And then the other game that I'm thinking about checking out is Jamestown, which is a top-down shoot 'em up type game, where again it's a bullet hell or whatever you want to call them. You're going to get shot at with a lot of bullets from the enemies, but the thing is you only get hit in the center of your plane. So if you have wings or anything like that, you can still dodge the bullets. Like, the bullets can still pass through you. but the only way that you actually will die is if it hits the center, and that makes for some ridiculous, crazy scenes and just challenges to try to get through a level. And I'm just a big fan of those type of games anyway, so that's what I have kind of cooking up for next week. And like I said, I got the whole week off, so I'll be taking a really hard look at all of the games. And even on top of that, I'll also be playing a Star Wars Old Republic beta. Or not beta, but the actual game. I got into the early access, so I'll be doing that this weekend. Trying to think of anything else that I have. Like I said, the cave story was pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. And again, those are the games that seem to be like more, I don't want to say more enjoyable, but they tend to be easier to play and easier to get into. Because like I said, I did show DEF CON last week, and that was it's kind of boring to watch and a little bit more rough to try to wrap your head around. But yep, that's why I wanted to show Cave Story. And like I said, it's on the indie bundle right now. For right now, it's $5, and that might change later on as more people pay more money. But I mean, for $5, you can get that and all the other games. So go ahead and check that out. And I think that is going to do it. I'm getting ridiculously hungry. I need to go get some food. So I want to thank you all for watching. This has been episode 4, a whole month of doing these things, and I haven't changed a time or anything like that. And that's pretty much what I want to be doing here. So look forward to more episodes coming your way. And with the new year, I might try to change up the format a little bit. Try some new things. Just try to get a little bit more direction to the show itself. And then who knows what's going to happen after that. And with that, I'm at 20 minutes, a little bit quicker than what I would have thought, but I will see you all later. I will definitely be back next week and the week after. For even though it's Christmas and New Year's, I will still be doing a live show, so I will see you all next week. Have fun, play games, enjoy the crap out of life, and I will talk to you all later.